Hey everybody, good evening. I should get something pretty for you to look at while I do my intro. You can't get much prettier than that, can you? Good evening, thank you so much for joining us this evening or on catch up wherever in the world. My name is Heather Thomas. I am the Songbird Stamper, an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Fareham in the United Kingdom. Hey Joanna, good evening to you. So I come live every Thursday evening at 8 p.m. over on YouTube here. The nice thing about it being that the video automatically records and you guys can watch the catch up anytime you like. So I missed you all last week as I was doing my day job, working the night shifts last week. I've been on nights again this week, but just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So a good sleep this afternoon, and I'm ready to go for a night shift, but it's bedtime soon. Louise, bless you, skipping the gym. That's it's a slippery slope, isn't it? I've got to tell myself I must go tomorrow morning for a swim. It's been in my diary, so I must go. Good evening, Eloise. Good evening, Anne-Marie. Good evening, Lisa. Thanks for hopping on, guys. So the first thing I thought I'd do is actually just show you a little bit of an unboxing, if you're all up for that. I'm going to be doing a little bit of colouring tonight using the Detailed Dogwood stamp set, which is this one here. This is a celebration set, and we're coming to the end of celebration. End of February, 29th of February. So last kind of chances to get your hands on the celebration things. But I've got some new goodies which are available for pre-order to demonstrators now, or available to customers beginning of March. So not long to wait for these. And I just thought, seeing as I've got them, I would give you. Did get 2 packs of this. You're allowed 2 packs of consumables. So 1 pack is already opened and cut into. I've been preparing classes for my next round of classes. So. I won't show you the projects because some of you guys are on here and that will spoil it for you. So, this beautiful paper. Hey Shaz, hey Jill, hey Carol, nice to see you. This beautiful paper is called Zany Zinnias. It comes as part of a suite. This is an online exclusive product. So if you haven't heard about online exclusives, Stampin' Up have catalogues, have an annual catalogue, and then they have a mini catalogue. 2 mini catalogues a year, 1 annual catalogue a year. And then in between that, just like lots of other companies do, we bring in things out online. So you can purchase them any way you want. So you just reach out to your demonstrator, reach out to me, but you'll find them online. You won't find them in a catalogue. It means we can be a lot more responsive to market trends. So we've got this one here, and then so the backside is that colour is that. I love the fact that you get the colours on the back of the sheets. I use this a lot. This is probably it's not listed. What am I thinking? Pumpkin pie. Yes, it is pumpkin pie. That's exactly what I was thinking. You've got melon mambo, berry burst. I love these. This one here, so you chop up, make card fronts, or you can just use it how you wish. I'm using that one in my project. And then the back side of that one is this lovely lemon lime twist design. Do you know what? Interestingly enough, I've never heard of a zinnia. Never heard of a zinnia in my life. And I was planting some seeds last weekend, and I just happened to have some zinnia seeds, which I think I must have taken it from my aunt's garden. She must have given me some zinnia seeds. So I've planted them, and I'm really interested. So this is petal pink. Really interested to see how they come up. Having never heard of a zinnia, to now having a full zinnia suite of products to play with, and some zinnia flowers growing, well, hopefully growing. So we've got berry burst and melon mambo. Those two there, gorgeous. I got a little bit confused with the berry burst and the melon mambo because they're quite similar. So this is the melon mambo, so it matches that lighter colour. And then, oh no, this isn't the berry burst. It doesn't match that, so that must be real red. I don't know. But I got very confused and tried to use those two together, and quite clearly they're not a match. So just be mindful. It does have both colours in the suite. My desk is an absolute on-site. I don't know where I'm going to put all this stuff. Okay, so those two. And you've got these lovely leaves. It looks like a jungle. Hey, Mandy. Good evening to you. How are you doing? You enjoyed your stamp camp, didn't you? Which was lovely to see. All your brilliant makes. Thank you for posting them. So we've got this gorgeous striped old olive and lemon lime twist background. And this one, I love this one. This is probably my favourite. And then, Joanna, get ready. Look at that. Who does not need those pieces of paper in their lives? Just saying. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So because it's a suite, that comes with a stamp set. I'm just going to go and put this somewhere safe. On the floor, it'll do. It comes with a stamp set, an embossing folder, and some dies and some gems. So no ribbon, which is a bit sad because I would have loved a very shimmery berry burst ribbon. But we'll dig into these. I know, gorgeous, right? Gorgeous, gorgeous. Oh, Mandy, there's always lots more to do after a stamp camp. That's the nice thing about it, is you've just got inspiration for months after. Hello, Elizabeth. How are you? Liz, doing well? I feel refreshed after my snooze. I was absolutely exhausted earlier, especially when Russ woke me up. He woke me up from my sleep on the sofa to tell me that we didn't have anything for dinner. I was like, I'm not convinced that I needed to be woken up for that. If there's nothing for dinner, there's nothing for dinner. I'll deal with it when I wake up. Now, wake me up for food. That's fine. If you're going to wake me up with dinner, I'm all over that. So this embossing folder, it's a little bit, I'm going to say strange, but it's not the right word. I'm going to pop a piece of card behind it. It's oriented. Can you even see? No. Perhaps it's darker. There we go. So it's oriented sideways. So normally we would think embossing folder that way up, put the card in this way up. If you look at the stems, can you see they're growing up from here? So if you've got a piece of cardstock, I mean, it's not got a straight edge, but that you want in a portrait position, just be really mindful that it goes in like that. I know, Joanna. I mean, who does that? Who wakes you up and tells you there's no dinner? But I mean, bless him, he's very good. He'll just sort himself out. I sorted myself. I had an omelette in the end. He had a baked potato. But I was just like, nah. I could have just slept through that, to be honest. Here we go. We've got the Simply Zinnia flowers. I love these sentiments. Thank you so much. Sending flowers and thinking of you. We've got this gorgeous image here. And these are at 95%. And then this one. And I thought I'd just show you what they look like. This is stamped in black and then coloured in with the Stampin' Blends. Absolutely, Joanna. There is no need for that. He did argue that the alternative was for him to eat, let me sleep through, and then when I woke up, say there's nothing for dinner, but I've already eaten, which may have upset me even more. He can't win. He can never win, basically. Then this is a Simply Zinnia dies. Oh, this is a red rubber stamp set. They are there. They're just out in use at the moment. So there's that one. You get the Zinnia dies, which is lovely because you get these additional ones as well. So you get like these builder dies, which is really nice. So these ones cut out the images and then these ones will build. So I like that, where you've got both in one. Yeah, really, really pretty. Nice set, that one. And then sparkly, sparkly gems. Because you can't go wrong with a bit of sparkly gems. So that is the Zinnia suite. Like I said, they're available for demonstrators to pre-order now, or for customers to pre-order. Customers to purchase at the beginning of March, so not long. Pop that over there. Let's do that. Then we've got this one, which actually I really thought was really nice. It's a sentiment stamp set, but it's comforting thoughts. Wishing you comfort, hoping this is a feeling better kind of day, which I really like. Sometimes you don't want to just say get well soon, or someone's genuinely just struggling in life. That's a really nice one. There is no good card for this. I don't have all the right words to say, but I do have lots of love to give. Healing, peace, rest. I'm so sorry. You can do this. You're not alone. We're here for you. I'm here for you. Cancer sucks. I wish I could make this better. Thinking of you, praying for you, hoping with you. And you could even just cut the thinking of you down if you wanted just a little sentiment. So I thought it's quite a nice one to have, just for kind of all those moments where you think you send a card and that there isn't really the right sentiment. I'm sure you'd find something in here. Even I don't have all the right words to say. That would be just on its own enough sometimes, because sometimes you just don't know what to say, do you? And then we've got the Magnolia Mood dies and stamps. So this is a red rubber again, images at 95, so a little bit bigger. Again, really nice sentiments. Thank you for being you. Just a note to let you know you are loved. Happy birthday. That's a really nice font on the happy birthday as well. And then the dies are something a little bit special for these. I've yet to get this out and play with it. I was very late ordering. I was procrastinating as usual, but I decided to go for it. And then you've got this one here, which look at the detail in that. Brilliant. Absolutely love that. My dad planted a magnolia tree out in his front garden a couple of years ago. Because quite a lot of the neighbours up the road have got them. So it's just something he wanted to do to kind of makes the road look really nice. So everyone's got a magnolia tree in the front, just one in the front garden, right in the middle. But his just looks ridiculous. It's so small compared to everyone else's. I mean, give it 10 years, it'll probably be fine. It's just in the meantime, it just looks, I went round, he was really proud of it. I went round to go and see it. I was like, oh, it's lovely. Lovely tree, Dad, standing about 2 foot off the floor. Oh, have you got a magnolia tree? They're really nice. Are they one of the earliest to bloom or blossom or something like that? Hey, Louisa, not a problem. You're not late. You're not late. We haven't even started crafting. I'm just showing some products. And you can always go back through and watch the catch up if you fancy. Then we've got this one, which is Happy Little Things. Celebrate, and then this is an infill, so you can either colour it in using the Stampin' Blends, you could just stamp it normally, or you could then infill with a different colour, so you can have the outline a different colour, and then just lots of little things to go with that. So comfort and strength, you were incredible, you did it, a peaceful season, a speedy recovery. That's nice, wishing you a speedy recovery. And then you get this cute little die. I've never had a die set so small. Good evening to you, Paul. How you doing from across the pond? This is going to be a bit of an awkward one to store, but it's just 2 little tiny dies. Aren't they sweet? I really missed, and I use it a lot still, the little label punch that we had, because I don't think we've got anything like this. So I'm going to really look forward to using these. So comfort and strength, and then these ones can go, I don't think they're too big to go in there. And then these ones can go in that one. Peaceful season, speedy recovery. Hundreds of buds on it. Oh, wow. God, is it a big one then, Joanna? Big tree. Yeah, they are beautiful. I found a dried magnolia bud last year that looked like a paintbrush. So I think all the leaves had kind of dropped off, and then it was just the bud left. And I looked at it. I took it. It has since fallen apart, sadly, but it was on the floor. I picked it up, and I just thought, I wonder if years and years ago they would have used that to paint with. And this is a set of embossing folders. So these are really cute. These are fun patterns embossing folders. So all available online exclusives. If you're just late joining us, these are the online exclusives. These are not a 3D folder, so they're thin. So they would need a different shim to your thick folders. So you can feel the difference in your hands. Normally, these are the thick ones. I mean, there's no flex in that at all, but nice and flexible. So you can just feel the difference between the thick and the thin ones. And then you'll know which shim to use. It's all on your machine if you've got the cut and emboss machine, which is what I love about the Stampin' Up cut and emboss machine. The instructions are there every time. Just 2 more things to show you, and then we'll get some crafting done. I know sometimes people like to see these things. So this is the Sunny Days design series paper. This is available. So celebration is just about to come to an end. So if there's anything that you're after, I am going to be popping an order in very soon, just at the end of celebration. So do give me a shout. Or you can place an order online if that's what you fancy doing. Or if you're demonstrating yourself, don't forget there's some extra rewards. So we've not just got the free things that are in the catalogue. You can get some of the bonus things now. And I just thought, I haven't got this paper. I'm not a massive fan of some of these designs, actually. It's, we're all individual. I don't think I'd use that cherries one. But the reverse of it is really nice. And I was struggling with just some plain patterns of designer series paper this year. So I've gone ahead and got these for free. That strawberries one is really cute. The little rainbows. Again, makes a nice background paper, that one. Actually, those two work really well together, don't they? Make something nice with that. And then this petal pink background, which will actually go really nicely with the zinnia set as well, because it's got petal pink in it. So I kind of overlooked this in the catalogue, but seeing as it was free, I've decided to get myself a pack. Put that on the floor as well. I also picked up one of these, love this memory notebook kit, because this is available for celebration now as well. So you can get one of these for free, which is insane. I've actually got a couple, so I will be using one as a prize for something for my team. I like to treat my team, so you might be in with a chance of getting this. It's a lovely notebook kit with a gorgeous stamp set. Life is cool, smile every day, shake it off, be beautiful, start somewhere, shine on, love this. So kind of it's all about memory keeping and journaling, which is something I really like to do. You know, and it was free. I very nearly got this when it was launched, but I didn't. I've got quite a stock of kits already that needs to be used up. But I've got a couple of holidays coming up with Stampin' Up, so I thought this might be really nice to take away with me. I don't do sitting still very well, so whilst I'm looking forward to some relaxation in the sunshine, I know Russ is looking forward to a little bit more than me, and it might be useful for me to have something. So we've got some foil kind of tape, some tear and tape. You've got your block to go with your ink and your stamps. Got little pockets in here, which is cute. Got these lovely little pop outs. So really sunny, fun, vibrant. Yeah, perfect for a nice summer holiday coming up. And then all these stickers, all these little cards you get. And there's a video online. I think Sarah Douglas, the CEO of Stampin' Up, has done a video online. A couple of her kids really love this kind of journaling. So I think she's done. And then just some white ones. That's really nice. I like that. Just some nice white ones. Yeah, lovely, isn't it? So again, it's one of those things, you've got to see it in person. Oh, wow, look at that. All those letters. Yeah, you've got to see this in person in order to really appreciate it, I think. And then you get your journal, which is a bullet journal. So what a fun way to keep memories of a special trip whilst you're away. Like, everything's here. You don't have to take anything extra. They're all stickers. You might want to just put some glue in. Obviously, just be mindful that goes in your hold luggage probably. Or, oh no, you don't even need glue. Look, you've got tear and tape. So you can just put tear and tape on the back of it. There's no twine, but the box is big enough. If you wanted to pop a few extras in there, then you absolutely could. And look at that, sunny and tip. Free. Free. With a £45. I think that's a £45 purchase, I think. I'm pretty sure. Great for holidays, honestly. Look, there's so much more room in that box. So that's going in my luggage, I think. Yeah. I'm going to pack it with a few extra bits. Maybe some bigger die-cut letters. And then I'll be able to leave space for some photographs. And I'll be able to add some photographs to that when I get home. But I'll be able to do some journaling, some kind of plan it out, do my designs. I like to keep wrappers and things like that as well, especially when I go somewhere completely foreign, like I've never been before. I like to keep kind of sweet wrappers and things like that. So there we go. There's that one. And then finally, lastly but not leastly, we've got some, oops, my cable, sorry. Shiny. I couldn't resist. I really don't need any more glitter paper in my life. But how could I not? Berry Burst Old Olive and White. I was sold on the Berry Burst. I'm not going to lie. You could die cut some letters out of that, couldn't you? And then put those in your kit as well. How cute is that? And then the white and the old olive. Sold. So pretty. Okay, so let's put those to one side. And then I will get some crafting done for you. Gosh, thank you for waiting. If you don't like seeing products, so what minute are we on? 2020, and I'll put in the description for anybody watching on the catch up. If they fast forward if they like. I know loads of you like to see the product in person. You can't really get a glimpse of it in the catalogue. So, okay, so using the Detailed Dogwood, again, this is free with a £90 purchase, only until the 29th. So if you love this one, don't miss out. Get your hands on it now. Then we're going to grab a big block. So what's your go-to ink? I've got a question. I don't know how many of you are actually kind of watching and ready to type, but what's your go-to ink when you stamp with and with colouring in mind. So we're going to use the alcohol markers, the Stampin' Blends. What would be your go-to ink, I wonder? I know what mine is. I would pick out Memento. So I would grab my Memento because yeah, exactly, Lisa. We've always kind of been told, grab your Memento and stamp with your Memento, because that's a water-based ink that then you can colour with the alcohol markers. And that's absolutely true. That is absolutely true. However, colouring in black, stamping in black and colouring in bold really works. So I'm colouring bold colours, dark colours, even these light colours where you want that pop of black. However, that's not always the look we're going for sometimes. And I think I always forget that we've got two other brilliant water-based colours that we can use for stamping. Yeah, usually Memento. I don't know why, for some reason. It's my go-to ink. I just think blends, pick up the Memento. So we've got basic grey and smoky slate. And I'm going to show you the difference. So I'm just going to stamp, what should I do? Have I got a scrap bit of white? Yes, I have. I don't want to waste my good card. I mean, I could colour them all in, but this is just some scrap white card. It's actually cheap white card that I use for prototypes. So I'll grab the Memento. I want to show you the difference in this. So there's our Memento. Now this is a really fine line image, so it doesn't look kind of crazy dark there. Let me grab a chamois. But it still is a black line. And when we're going to do some soft, the title of this video, I think, is how to colour in soft. Yeah, pebbled path would work as well, Joanna, exactly. It's a really dark grey, that one. I would say that's even darker than these two. So there's the basic. Actually, that is darker than that. My Memento needs re-inking, doesn't it? That's very dark. Memento needs re-inking, and the basic grey is very dark. So but there's the basic grey, and then you've got this lovely smoky slate. Which gives you that gorgeous soft pattern design. And I love smoky slate when I'm colouring with these lighter coloured blends. Yeah, I know that was such a bad. You'd think I'd do a test. Should have done a test, shouldn't I? Just pretend these are the other way around. So I'm going to stamp with the smoky slate. And I do sometimes like to do a little bit of a test before I stamp, because then you know what it's going to look like on the paper. So I think I must have used this basic grey when I last stamped. Be interesting to see. Yeah, so that's the basic grey that needs re-inking. And that's another really good tip. Like, I love doing live videos and things just happen live, because actually you guys get to see. I've done classes before with my upline, and I'm like, how is that colour? And it's because she's got a brand new ink pad re-inked, and mine at home is needing re-inking, or vice versa. Oh, hey Becky. So the strength of the ink in your ink pad makes a huge difference. So they are both basic grey, that one and that one, and they look completely different, don't they? That's really, really dark, actually probably even darker than my Memento, and that's a really nice colour. So always do a bit of a test stamp before you go for it as well. So actually I'm going to use this basic grey because I really like the colour of that one, and I'm just going to stamp this in that light basic grey, just like that. And then we're going to bring in those blends. It just gives it, who else always does that? Try and close the ink pad the wrong way around and then get ink all over your fingers. And then I'm going to bring in, I've got Pecan Pie, Soft Seafoam, Boho Blue, and, should have two Boho Blue with. This could be a problem. Is it falling down the back? Boho Blue and Lemon Lolly. I literally had two in my hand earlier. Hang on. Here it is. Okay. It's buried underneath the mess. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and colour this in a really light and soft fashion. So not like this bold and dark that I've gone for with the zany zinnias here. And the way I'm going to do that is to leave some white. We're going to leave quite a lot of white when we colour. So I'll start with the flowers because they're probably the biggest part of this image. And we grab our dark pen and we grab our light pen. This is the boho blue. And what we're going to do is just put some dark right at the base where the petal meets the centre of the flower. I don't know what that's called. And then we're going to come out with this light, but we're not going to colour all the way to the end. And I'm going to do it in a kind of flicking motion so that I haven't got a harsh line here. So I've got a kind of jaggedy line where the blue meets the white. Okay, and then I've left a white tip on the end. Then you're going to bring in your alcohol marker, your colour lifter, and you're going to want a fairly new colour lifter for this. And we're going to come over that line and blend that blue into the white, and that's the kind of effect that you're looking for. Now you might think, actually I want a bit more blue in there. Don't be scared. You can always, this is the light, you can always come back in and add more, like going further up, and then come back in with that colour lifter just to blend those lines together. So you can play around with it. It's one of the nice things I like about alcohol markers. It's not fixed. When you put a felt pen on the page, it's there. There's no doing anything with it. But with alcohol markers, you get to be able to play with the ink once it's on the page. And I really like that. So again, just popping some dark on there. And then coming out with the light. Remember that flicking motion, so you've not got a harsh line. It makes it easier for blending. You wonder what the colour lifter was for? Yeah, it just blends that into white. It's not something I always use, but the colour lifter is great for this kind of thing. And then you just get to blend that out. And that really helps giving that soft look to your colouring by not having it kind of really dark. The colour lifter also tints the page, I find, so it leaves it a little bit grey looking, which can help. So it's not a stark white, and it will take some of that blue up into that white zone with it. It just, yeah, it really kind of helps it to merge in. And it's so easy to do. You just do need to make sure that you've got a fairly new one, because trying to do that with a dry colour lifter is quite challenging. Dry colour lifters are great for other techniques. I always have several colour lifters on hand. The newest one I try and keep in its wrapper. So I'll put this back in here afterwards, and that indicates to me that it's the newer one. No, the colour lifter won't bleed the memento. So we've not actually stamped with memento this time. This is the Stampin Up, just normal classic inks. But you won't get any bleed. I say any. You get a tiny bit of a bleed with memento sometimes, but it's just the nature of the beast, really. And I tend to be, if I've been impatient, I haven't waited for it to fully dry, or if I've massively saturated the page with alcohol, because it does contain some kind of like fluid, so it can move the ink, but they don't react together, certainly not like water would do. I hope that makes sense. And then you just keep coming around and doing all of your flowers and petals in that manner. Boho blue is a lovely colour. We've got another year with this one, haven't we? Yeah, we're not losing this one just yet. Colours that are retiring, gosh, April. Wow, yeah, it's not long now. So demonstrators, we're going to be able to see the new catalogue on, I think, the 16th of March, something like that, middle of March, while we're on stage in Rotterdam. And then, yeah, we're going to be having a new annual catalogue soon, and that means certain colours are going to retire. We are going to lose Sweet Sorbet, Parakeet Party, Tahitian Tide, Starry Sky, and Orchid Oasis. I'm a bit sad about Orchid Oasis. I haven't used it anywhere near as much as I should have done, because it's a gorgeous colour. So, yeah, I'm a bit sad, purely because I haven't made good use of that. So I'm just going to come over this dark section with the colour lifter as well, because that's actually a bit dark for me. We're going for a nice light effect on this one. So if your piece is looking a bit too dark, just go over it with the colour lifter and it will magically erase that colour. On my course, I talk far more about how the colour lifter actually works physically, but it basically acts like a bit of an eraser. Yeah, boho blue is a great colour. So, oh, you're going to miss Orchid Oasis. Definitely. Yeah, I really should have made more use of that. I know I've still got time, but it's hard to kind of focus on things that are going when you've got so many new toys to play with. Can you see already how this is giving us a really light, soft effect? Really helping with that lighter stamping ink. So we've gone for a basic grey to stamp with. Oh, that's light. Basic grey to stamp with, and then picking some of these lighter colours helps, and then blending them out to white is what really, really finishes that off. I know, I'm intrigued to see what's going to carry over and what's going to retire. Yeah, exciting times, exciting time. I'm ready for a new catalogue, actually. I was flicking back through this one the other day and feeling like it's been out a long time. Last year was a long year. A great, great year for me with Stampin' Up. Amazing year, but a long one. So yeah, I'm ready for a bit of newness. Loving the online exclusives coming out, which is amazing because we get a re-injection of inspiration and great products more frequently. And not everything is to everybody's taste. There's a lovely coffee set out, but I don't like coffee, so I'm not going to get excited by it. I know we shouldn't necessarily craft with our own mind in our own kind of likes in place in mind, but if you don't love it, you're not going to be inspired to create with it, are you? So we've just got this flower here as well. This one's a little bit more tricky to see what's going on, but just take your time when you colour these flower stamps in. Take your time with them, and you can do a couple of petals at once if you feel brave enough. Yeah, I tend to just buy what I know I'm going to love because I'm going to inspire other people to use that then. And there's enough people out there doing their own thing, and they're going to have ideas with the coffee set, so you're not going to be short of ideas. Just give that a good old rub all over with the colour lifter, and that's just going to really tone that down. And then last but not least, this little bud here. Also gives it a more watercolory effect, I think, using the colour lifter. If you're not a coffee drinker and you didn't feel the urge to buy it. No, exactly. It's not, you know. I know some of my friends would love receiving a card like that, but I'm sure they'd equally receive a card, you know, with flowers on. So it's not necessarily the design of the card that makes the difference. It's what you write inside, I think, and the love that you put into creating it, not necessarily what products you've used. So yeah, ready for a new catalogue. Yeah, definitely. Can't wait. So this is the soft sea foam. You can barely see this. It's such a light colour, but it's so beautiful. And again, I'm doing the same here. So I'm just putting some dark, then I'm putting some light, but I'm leaving some white space. It's not as important with this light colour, but it just is going to bring the whole piece together. And then just go around the edge where you've left that white and blend that into the colour that you've popped down. And then you can do all these. I was chatting to somebody the other day. I met somebody in person. I'm trying to rack my brains now. Who was it? And I had no idea that they watched my live. So if you're watching tonight, I wish I could remember. Oh, I'm so tired. Where was I and who did I meet? Oh, did somebody bring a friend to cuppa and card? No. Oh, I know. It was at team training. And I think it's one of Sarah's team said that she watches me live on YouTube. So hi, if you're watching, apologies, that was a terrible memory. But really nice to have met you the other day. And I said, oh, I feel like sometimes people get bored of me just sitting watching me colour. And she said, absolutely not. Finds it very relaxing just sitting and watching to me colour. Didn't say anything about me just talking to myself, but that's another story. You don't think you've ever used your soft seafoam blends, Joanna? Now's the time to break them open. They work so beautifully with boho blue. If you like boho blue as a colour, soft seafoam's gorgeous with it. And if you fancy having that just a little bit darker, you can go back in and add some more of that colour. It's a little bit light in places, but okay. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Just a hint of green on those leaves. And again, you want to make it darker in the centre. Just go over with that dark again. They layer beautifully, the Stampin' Blends. So you get to just keep playing with it and doing what you fancy. I just love these alcohol markers. I'm not doing any courses this year, but I am so tempted to do another one next year. So if you hear me kind of talking about it, the latter stages of this year, if anyone's interested, let me know, because I won't do it if there's no interest. But if anybody's interested in learning more about how to colour with alcohol markers, give me a shout. Drop me a comment, say yes, and I'll try and gauge some interest. And if there's enough interest, I might do another one next year. They're a lot of work, but it's so lovely to see people's kind of confidence grow. How are my spots for Rotterdam going? Slowly. No, I am getting there. The cards I coloured all in, so I've coloured all the images in. So this is Pecan Pie, which is while I chat to you and while I colour. And I'm trying not to put much because everything else is really light on this. You then don't want the stems to overpower. So it's just a teeny touch of the dark. And then a teeny oh no, that was the wrong one. So no dark, just a teeny touch of the light. And then grab your colour lifter and then come over the whole lot. So you just want that nice and light in there. Yeah, I've coloured all the images, but I was really surprised when I coloured the vases. I'm using a flower vase. I coloured the vase set in with crumb cake, and they looked really good. And then when I came back to them, they've gone like almost white. They've gone so pale. And it's what I was like, where did the colour go? Where's all the colour gone? I don't know what happened. I was using some old blends because I had some old ones left over from class. So that could be it. But yeah, really surprised. It's because you're a bright scale, not a subtles. There is definitely, I'm a bright scale too, but there is definitely a time and a place for these subtles. And I'm hoping when you see my card, you will kind of get the message behind that. It's a bit cryptic, isn't it? Don't be expecting a grand reveal. There's no kind of deeper meaning behind this. But sometimes in life, it just calls for a bit more of a delicate. So where I put that dark on, I've then used quite a lot of colour lifter. I've suffered what we call a bleed. So it sounds traumatic, but come on, focus. Just where the come on. Just where the colour has bled outside the lines. So it's so minor, you can't really tell. But if you wanted to, you could just bring in some colour lifter. And this is generally what they built, kind of made the colour lifter for. And you can just go down that with the colour lifter. That will then dry. And you'll see less of that bleed through. There you go. So no dies for this one. So out come our trusty snips. And that was Lemon Lolly just in the centre of the flowers, by the way. Out come our trusty snips. So yeah, some really delicate. I normally go bright and bold with my colouring, but I wanted you to see that you can absolutely do a more kind of watercolory effect with these Stampin' Blends. You are not limited to using those brighter colours and colouring the whole image in and making it, stamping with black ink and making it really dark. You can use a lighter ink, so we've used the grey, or you could even go lighter and use the smoky slate. And then using some lighter coloured pens. and that colour lifter just to blend out to white on all those edges. For those of you kind of new to crafting, fussy cutting is one of those things. Some people love it, some people hate it. I love it. Can you see how I'm not moving my snips? My snips and my arm are on the desk. So my forearm is resting on my desk. My snips and my hand is rigid. My snips are firmly in place. And I move the image using my left hand. If you're trying to move the snips all the time, it becomes really difficult. Yeah, it's really awkward just to move the snips. So keep everything in one place and then just move the image. And don't try and cut all the way up to the line as well. It's I would say a really common thing that beginners try and do is they think they have to cut all the way up to the line. And actually our dies don't. And I think it looks much neater and more professional if you leave that white gap around the edge. Just don't make life harder for yourself than it needs to be. So mine is not very fussy cutting. I'm not all that fussy about it. I think that helps me just get a neater finish. And you can either go into all these bits or you don't have to bother. We're going white on white. I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. But because we're going white on white, we don't white on white. I don't say my T's very well. White on white. We don't need to worry about going into all these nooks and crannies because you're not actually going to see them. Now, if that was going onto a dark piece of card, you might say you wanted to cut them out. So I'm going to bring in some smoky slate cards just because it's here. We're going to make a card base. So it's a standard size card base. I'm going to cut that to 14.5 by 21. And we're going to score it in half at 10.5. That's a standard size for me. A little bit shorter for some of you. I swear my trimmer's not quite. Look, that's 10.5. All the cardstock is just over 21 centimetres. And then we're going to bring in another piece of boho blue somewhere under here. And we're going to cut this down to 10 by 14. That's a standard size layer. I like keeping all my measurements half. Smoky slate's lovely, isn't it? I actually made the sample of this with basic grey, and it was a bit too dark, I think. I'll show you both of them at the end, and you can tell me what you think. But and then we're going to cut two pieces of this. So one at 14 by 10, and one at 9.5 by 13.5. So let me run you through what we've got so far, because you're thinking, oh my god, that's a lot of pieces of cardstock. So I quite often use a white card base, but I'm not in this instance. I'm using a grey card base. And I'm using a blue matte, and I'm using a white layer. So we need the smaller one for the white layer on the front, which we're going to decorate. And then this one here is for the inside of the card. So that's our mats and layers. Whilst we've got this out here, we're going to grab the circles, scalloped circle dies. Well, I've got what I made the mistake of buying this morning, mini eggs. I bought some mini eggs ready so that I could either do some Easter baking or make some Easter treats. They smell amazing. They're open already. I've already started eating them. It's bad. I put them in a box that we made at my team, my uplines team training the other day. We did an Easter box. I was like, oh, I could fill it with mini eggs. So I filled it with mini eggs and then just proceeded to eat the rest of them. So we're going to use this one here, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th from the middle. Love how many sizes are here. Gorgeous set of dies. Again, that is an online exclusive, I think. And we're going to cut that out with our cut and emboss machine. I'm going to use the mini, I think. And I've also got the sentiment die. Oh, you'd have finished them by now. So I'm actually being quite well behaved then, Joanna, am I? That's a big bag as well. To not the normal size. It's bigger. Over double the size for just double the price. So I mean, I couldn't say no, could I? Okay, so we need to keep that. I think I'm coming down with some form of a cold, so excuse me if I'm sniffing. My mini machine, because I can cut nearly everything in this machine. So that circle is going to go on there like that, just about fits. And then this one just on the end. So we've got a sentiment die and our circle. But I'm going to bring back in my trimmer because I want the circle to sit over the edge of the page. So I need to trim some off. And the way I'm just going to do it is just hang that over the line. Really doesn't actually matter where, but don't chop too much off. You always feel like you're going to chop. I've even chopped probably more off there than I want to. Just to literally just trim a little slither off. The first time I made this, I chopped quite a lot off. I was like, wow, it's so easy to chop quite a lot off. So just a teeny, less than that even. A teeny slither. That will be fine for what we're doing though. Then we're going to grab our cardstock. This is the piece that's going on the front of the card. And I'm bringing in the 4 square decorative masks. Not a lovely set of masks, 6 by 6. We get this kind of dotty pattern. That one there. I don't know if you can see these. On a, it's not so easy. It's not so easy to see on this gridded background. This one here, that's easy to see. This one here is the one we're going to use. This is my most used one. And I've gone for boho blue ink. So you could tape this down if you wanted to. I'm actually not going to bother. I'm just going to make sure I've got it lined up square. So use your grid. This is the glass mat. Again, this is available if you join Stampin' Up during celebration. So if you're on the fence or you've got quite a lot that you fancy grabbing, think about joining Stampin' Up because you get this fabulous glass mat, chamois, and the kind of accessories pack. So it's a great deal, and I love it. Thoroughly enjoying using with it. One of the biggest tips, I gave this to my downline, who then created an amazing reel about it, which was lovely to see. One of the biggest things I'm using this for at the moment is I grab an OHP, like a whiteboard pen, and I'm just jot notes down. So if I'm watching a tutorial or something like that, or I'm designing something, I'll just jot some measurements down. And then I needed to ring the doctor earlier, so I wrote some notes down. Just write whatever you want. And then you can grab a tissue, or you can grab the chamois that comes with the thing, and you can just wipe that off, and it just wipes clean. That's what I'm using this notes page for massively at the moment. Loving it. Otherwise, I just use Post-it notes galore, loose bits of paper. And you can even take a photo of the glass mat. So once you've done it, if you need to keep the note, you can take a photo of it, or if you don't need to keep it, you just wipe it off. So try and make sure this is straight is the hardest thing, I think. And then just grab some of the boho blue ink. Again, because we're on the glass mat, you can just dab that straight onto there and take the worst off. And then we're going to have the circle over here, so always start underneath something. Again, that just helps to remove the worst of the ink. You don't want any harsh lines with this, and it's so delicate, you don't need much. Don't need much ink at all. Again, if you feel more comfortable, tape this down. I'm just lazy. But we can see what it's going to start looking like underneath here, just lifting it up, and you can see that pattern. You might not think it's transferred, so light. Like, honestly, the most common mistake I see with people doing ink blending is they go too dark. Just really, really light, tiny bit of ink, tiny bit of pressure, just gently, gently, gently all the way around. Happy with that. Beautiful. You can always add more, you can't take it away. And then we're going to do a bit of ink flicking. So we're throwing all the techniques at this tonight. And again, this ink here, just grab your chamois. Grab your chamois and wipe it off. Easy peasy. And that just re-wets. You just wet it in under the sink. So I've got my, actually I'm going to go for the light. Again, always go for the lightest colour. You can always make it darker. Grab your light blend and just flick some ink. Now you may damage the fibre tip nibs of your pens by doing this. I do not colour with the fibre tip nibs of my pens. So I am okay in sacrificing my alcohol markers for this technique. If you've got them, you can also use the fibre tip markers. But I know not many of you have these. But you can also use the fibre tip markers, and I don't think they damage quite as easily. So if you've got them, you might prefer to use these. I should probably use these because I use my colouring pens a lot and I don't use these markers a lot. But I have all of the colours, obviously. So just a bit of ink flick all around. So that's my top tip to me as well as to you. Use your Stampin' Right markers if you've got them to ink flick, not your blends. Then we're going to grab our circle. You see how we're going really light with this card. We do not want anything heavy. So if I'd made the background really heavy, the focal point wouldn't sit right. If I make the focal point really heavy, the background won't sit right. The whole thing just has to kind of work together. And the way we achieve that is just concentrating on everything we're doing, making sure it's light and delicate. I'm going to create a little bit of shadow and depth for the card just by popping this up on dimensionals. If I can find them. I got them out specially. There we are. Balance, absolutely, absolutely, Joanna. It's all got a balance. It's all got to be in sync. Otherwise, you just find that something's kind of like the saying is sticks out like a sore thumb. So yeah, you don't want anything to kind of stick out as not being in place. So we then line this up, and this is what I'll show you. I think I made a mistake on my first card by using the dark basic grey, because everything else was really light and delicate, and then I've just chucked it on a really dark card base, which for me didn't work. So line that up where you want it, height-wise, but the left-hand straight edge needs to line up against the left-hand edge there. Good for me. And then again, this can go up on dimensionals. You see here where I've used way too much of that ink, and look what it's done. So the colour lifter pushes it through to the back of the card. Ah, Mary, 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 quite contrary, doing a crossword. Bless you. You'll have to go back and watch the replay. We did a little bit of a product show and tell at the beginning. I was showing and I was telling, but you know, I was what am I thinking? An unboxing. That's the word I'm thinking of. Did a little bit of an unboxing earlier. So if you fancy seeing some of the new online exclusives that you'll be able to purchase from Katie soon, then yeah, head over to the catch up and watch that on the catch up. Okay. So we are just going to pop a few dimensionals on here. I actually put this lower than I want to, but I'm just going to see if I can make it. I'm sure it'll be fine. We're going to go for it. If I try and take it off, you can take dimensionals off. Have to just be slow and patient with it. But if I try and take that off too kind of quickly, I could end up damaging my card. And actually, for the sake of a fraction of a centimetre, there we go. So it's going to go like that. I'm going to start to assemble the card now. And then I'll put the finishing touches on in a bit. So this is going to go onto the boho blue layer. Yes, I'm really, honestly, the zinnias are fun. I was just saying right at the beginning for anybody who's hopped on, never heard of a zinnia before. And there's a sweet called zinnias coming up. And it's beautiful flowers. And as I was just doing we wanted to plant some tomatoes and gherkins and things like that, ready for the summer, get the early ones in, and then we'll do a set later on as well. I found some zinnia flower seeds that I must have taken from my aunt's garden. She's a keen gardener, and very, very good at saving seeds. She does transplanting. She's very economical, and she gave me some seeds, and I've done nothing with them. So I planted them. No idea if they'll come up or not. But yeah, that's exciting. So they're out ready to grow. Some zinnia flowers. I might even do some like zinnia, like paper crafting to go with a zinnia flower gift if I cut them and give them to somebody. Who knows? So that's then going to sit on that smoky slate base. Yeah, that looks better. I'll show you the both. I'll show you the both combined. So I've got this sentiment panel, and I've grabbed. This card is actually for somebody. So you mean so much to so many. With one of the volunteers at my garden therapy group is going, and I'm really, really sad actually about that, because she's somebody that I've learned to trust and open up to, and yeah, she's moving on to pastures new, which is great for her, but very, very sad for me. So I wanted to make her a card. Now she's not going yet, but this is just a card to say that she does mean a lot to a lot of people. So I've stamped that in boho blue. You could also stamp that in the smoky slate. It could even have looked a little bit lighter in the smoky slate. Should we try it? Seeing as we've got a few minutes, let's try one of the smoky slate as well. So again, a little bit of cardstock. Just grab the die. It takes seconds to do this. My problem is when I start procrastinating like this, I'll have 3 or 4 stamped in different colours, and then I might change this, and I'll do that, and I'll just make the card, Heather. Just stamp something and get it on. Otherwise, I'll be here for hours. So we've got basic grey, which is what we used to stamp the outline in. This is the lighter one. Or we've got smoky slate, which is the same as our card base. So both of these would work. It's just which one I prefer. I quite like that. Let's try that. And then we can do the 2. Smoky slate. Put the 2 side by side and you'll be able to see. Sometimes do that and then take a photo of both of them. And then you can flick back and forth through the... There's You Mean So Much to Me. I quite like that actually. Oh, Mandy, thank you. Thank you. Quite like that in the smoky slate. I think that's just a little bit less, because it's quite a bold font that I've used. That's so much. And I think that just offsets the colour in the flowers as well. So we'll pop that up on a sentiment, on a dimensional. Now you're going to need 2 dimensions for this side. So where you've got so much to so many on there, you'll need 2 right on the end. And then we're going to need 1. And I'm just actually going to put the dimensional on the card. Ah, oh, bless you. Thank you, guys. So that's going to go on there like that. That's going to go on there like that. They're not going to forget. The first thing that I need to do is pop a bit of twine. Now, this is contraband. It's not. It is Stampin' Up. I actually found this. I was going through my retired stash, and I found this entire ball of Stampin' Up white twine. How on earth did I let that through my grasp? Because I've tried to buy white twine for crafting since we now sell it as a kind of multi-pack. And I've got so much black, grey, other coloured twine, vanilla. I just like white twine. I've tried to buy other brands and I don't like it. I can't find anything that I like anywhere near as much as this. So please, Stampin' Up, in the new catalogue, can we have some white twine? So our bow Actually, I'm just going to save that one. I want to make this with longer tails, longer ears, because it's got to come out either side. So to make longer ears, just separate your fingers further. It's got to come out either side of the sentiment panel. So with short kind of ears, you're not going to see. Does that make any sense to you at all? I hope it does. Trim those edges to the same amount, and then I'm just going to use a glue dot and stick that underneath. Where's my glue dots gone? Okay. So I just need to try and untwist everything. You can normally sort it out once you've got it on the page. I'm just going to pop it into that gap there. Untwist those ears. I mean, they're not ears, the loops. Get your bow how you want it, get your tails how you want it, and then you're just going to use a little dab of glue on this side here, and that's what's going to hold. So we've got 2 dimensionals, 1 dimensional, and then a bit of glue. That's going to hold all of that in place. I don't want to cover up too much of my flower, so we're going to go about here, just leaving a little bit of a gap down that right hand side. And then obviously we've got our loops of our bow still visible, and that just the glue is just going to hold that. You could use a glue dot as well if you fancied it. Oh, right, the only thing left is a few gems, I think. Right, where are my gems? Everything, I've got everything out. I'm really prepared. I'm really loving how I'm doing these lives now. I make all the cards for all the whole month in one go. So I've yet to do Marches. I need to do Marches soon. And then I schedule them all, take all the photographs. So all the posts are scheduled, all the lives are scheduled. And it's just so much less stress. I'm not racing around on the night before going, I haven't scheduled the live. It's lovely. Highly recommend being organised. Just got to keep it up. Oh, there we go. That is that. That is that. So this is the one that I made. Oh, actually, no, it's not that. Let's get this out again. So this is our inside piece. Trying to get better at finishing cards off. So again, let's grab the basic grey. Let's grab our stamp. It doesn't need much, but we're just going to pop a little bit of a stamp design over that side there. Love how the Detailed Dogwood stamp set looks, not even coloured in, just stamped on its own. Just going to get rid of that ink. Oh dear, that's smelly. This is, I should admit to that. I think my chamois needs a wash. That's not good. That's going to go on the inside there. You could stamp that in smoky slate as well, but look how lovely that is. Just stamped like that. A little bit of glue, and then I'm going to bring in the other one and show you what the other one looks like. Used a different sentiment on the other one, and I couldn't find it as I was prepping, getting all the stuff out ready for this. That's what the other thing I need to write down is where things come from. I wrote down the colours that I used. I didn't write down where the stamps came from. So there's one we just made, and then there's the one I made earlier. So, I'll tell you what, they look different, don't they? So 2 things I notice. Here, you've got a really light coloured flower. Now, this may dry lighter, or you can go back in. You can still go back in even once you've done it, you know. You can go back in even once your card is kind of assembled. If you think, oh, I want that a bit lighter, just go back in with that colour lifter. Don't be scared. Don't be scared of your alcohol markers, because that's quite a dark image. Now I can see the 2 side by side, and that will lighten that up. So anyway, what I notice here is I've got a really light image on a dark card base. I think that card base is too dark. And then here we've got quite a darker image on a light card base. But actually, I think this one, I think that works for me. I think that one's a nicer finish than that one. Yeah, how subtle differences make so much difference, don't they? I love that sentiment as well. Sending love during this season of growth. But I can't find it. I don't know where it's from. Sorry. You've got a few of those. Oh, Mandy, if you ever want to sell your white twines, I bet they'd go for like hotcakes on the black market. on the Stampin' Up market. I know I buy them. I used this in a class the other day and I was like, don't use too much. I'm taking out your hands. I was like the rationing of the twine. Right, that's all from me today. So I'm just going to pop. This is, again, if you missed me earlier, this is my new, my most recently bought colour lifter. So I just leave it in its pack so that I know that one is still really, really quite juicy and good to be used. But yeah, don't be scared to go back in. I might go back in just off air and just remove a little bit more of that dark colour from the centre of the flowers here. I may not. Anyway, that's all from me. Thank you so much for popping by. Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure spending my evening with you. And yeah, I'll be back next week, next Thursday. Thank you so much, Carol. That's really lovely of you to say. Really lovely. Thank you, Becky. My absolute pleasure. My pleasure. I love doing these lives with you. It's really nice to have you come and join me. I'm very, very grateful. Otherwise, it would be a boring hour sat talking to myself. Look after yourselves. Stay safe. Yeah, especially in this rain. Drive carefully if you're driving anywhere. And I'll see you all next week. Thanks, guys. Bye for now.